Hello and welcome to another episode of MB Dialogues. In today's discussion, we will be dealing with a topic that never ceases to interest us: home loans, how the interest rates, the change in RBI's repo rates, how is that impacting? Because almost all of us or people very close to us have taken a home loan or are repaying a home loan, have had to do something with a home loan, obviously looking to even buy a home, and we're waiting to avail of a home loan. In today's panel, I have with us Mr. Suresh Pandey, who is the product head for home loans with ICICI Bank. We have with us Mr. Rajiv Gupta, general manager and in charge of Mumbai for UCO Bank's home loan portfolio. And finally, we have with us Rahul Chanani, who is the national head for the home loan services that Magicbricks provides. Welcome, gentlemen. Rahul, if I can just start off with a question that, okay, what particular parameter should a customer look at besides interest rates when they're going in for a home loan?
Okay, Siddharth, it's a very wide, topic actually. But if I were to give you a brief answer, of course, interest rate is one of the factor, but we are not talking about it. Second, I feel in today's urban market, people are more particular about the TAT, which is turnaround time, right? So they also consider. So while I speak to a lot of high-profile customers myself, the first question besides the interest rate is key: how long will it take for you to process my file?
Mhm.
So, which is where when I meet partners like Suresh or Rajiv, in one of my opening discussions, if Suresh can recollect, I discuss the same with him also. That what is your turnaround time, right? Because customers are very particular. Second, customer are very particular about the fact that whether the bank or bank staffs are maintaining their basic hygiene levels in terms of whatever has been told and committed should be fulfilled. These are the two most important factor I feel. Rest, I mean, the banking environment operates the same way, so there is no hardcore differentiations. But one is that, and second is commitment levels.
So, Suresh, for a customer, when should they actually apply for a loan? Is it before shortlisting on a property or during finalization? When is the right time for a customer to apply for a loan?
The loan application is dependent on when a consumer realizes his need, because see, everybody on this earth knows that what is his or her capacity. So if somebody has defaulted even in the loan, and believe me, this we have done various survey and we understand very well that individual who has defaulted in past and now let's say is looking for a home loan, he is the person who will first go and find out that whether I am eligible or not and what amount of loan I am going to get. Rest of the people, they do a mota calculation that if it is a let's say 1 crore property and 75 lakh rupees is the let's say loan a bank can give, basis the current income and affordability of the EMI, they work out, and it is available on anybody's website. You go to any lender's website, you will find that what is the EMI which I can or he or she can afford. So largely it sits there because we believe as an organization that anybody who comes for a housing loan, uh, he comes with an intent to buy a house, not with an intent to come and default, barring few fraudsters who are there in the society to defraud the financial institutions. Otherwise, people know what they can afford, and most of the lenders honor that. It may be hardly a percent or two here and there, and making a loan application ideally should be when you finalize at least the locality. So you know that in that locality, and even on Magicbricks you can go and check what is the current price trend in that locality per square feet running. One can decide that what is the budget and what is the saving available with that individual, and then what is the loan amount he or she is looking for based on his income level. So and nowadays, sanction for housing loan is just few clicks away. Most of the banks have their pre-approved, or if it is not pre-approved, then at least offer can be taken online, so you get a broad sense that the amount which the lender can finance to you. So largely people first go for a house, looking at the the locality, and before giving the token, ideally, if you ask me, my recommendation, before giving the token, you should have a sanction letter ideally.
Okay, okay, no, that makes sense. Rajiv, is there any unique home loan product? I mean, are there any things that have changed in the vanilla home loan product that is there? Are there any new kind of products that are available in the market?
No, see, end of the day, it is a home you're buying, and it is a finance institution has to provide you the loan. So there is, if you call it a plain vanilla, then definitely it is a plain vanilla, but that is how it is. But yes, there are certain things, because see, as the things are changing, people are evolving, there are certain demands of the public which needs to be taken care of. There are um, some additional things some banks are offering us, or some financial are offering an OD facility on the home loan product. Some other things are coming, so that is something which is always coming. But I believe as on date, and still, and it will always be that as a financial institution, how quickly we are able to deliver, and what commitment we have made, we are able to live up to that commitment. So these are the two, as Rahul rightly pointed out. These things are and will always be the focus and the key point whenever any customer is looking at. So that will always remain like that only. Yes, of course, there will be some new things coming, some additions coming, will always be coming along the way. So that is, but ultimately it remains like how well you are able to serve the customer.
Suresh, anything that your bank is offering, anything unique, anything different which sets it apart?
See, I tell you, housing loan is not an engineering product. To me, it's a very very simple product. You want to buy a house, and lender wants to give you money to make that transaction happen. And it is a service, whether it is a turnaround time or the transparency with the lender, I mean with the customer, that what are the charges and how the interest rate movement is going to happen. How will you educate the customer when the bank when the customer is buying a house, because it's a high anxiety product. Mostly it is a highest investment for an individual. So at least if I talk about ICICI Bank side, we don't believe in over engineering such financial product. It's a simple home loan, and if it is a home loan with floating rate of interest, largely in the entire industry, you'll find that that is the product. We believe more in becoming transparent and educating customer that how floating rate moves, because many times we have observed that people take 20 years loan. If somebody took a loan in 2005, and the rate of interest when moves as per the cycle, or the benchmark rate moves, keeping the spread constant, uh, the tenure keeps moving, it increases or decreases. But actually the customer who is paying EMI never understand what happened in his life, because he never gone and seen the amortization schedule, how it has impacted the tenure. He feels that, let's say if 1 lakh rupees is EMI, from 2005 he is paying EMI of 1 lakh rupees, and by 2025 his loan should be over.
Hmm.
Many times he'll come to know that, array, 2025 there is still 5 years tenure left. Because as a consumer also have to be aware, this entire financial industry, if you see, has gone through various cycles. There were external benchmark rates, there were MCLR, there were base rate, and finally regulator has given a very very transparent external benchmark rate. I think as a bank we focus more in educating customer and making him aware, because what has happened that when repo rate increased from 4% to, let's say, 6.5%, but if you look at the rate at which current lending for housing loan is happening, it has not increased 2.5%. I think it has increased maximum to 2%.
Hmm.
For all those existing customers who are running, let's say, when repo was 4, and their rate of interest would be 2.5% higher. Ideally, those customers should go back to their lending institution and ask for giving them the prevailing rate. So that is where the consumer awareness is very important. Otherwise, there is no over engineering required in housing loans. Such a simple product, such a simple need of customer, where you have to service, be transparent, keep educating customer, so that if it is a 15, 20 years loan, he or she is aware various cycles and its impact, and they don't feel that what exactly has happened after 20 years.
Extremely interesting perspective because obviously, like you mentioned, a lot of people don't understand the impact on the interest rate, that the EMIs remain the same, but your tenure is actually changing, and most people don't end up following that. But Rahul, from your perspective, since you're dealing with so many different banks, financial institutions, you're getting queries all the time. What do you think is the expectation that customers have? I mean, is it that they are looking for unique products? What is it? What is it that they're facing?
Okay, so two things. One, of course, the customers and nowadays banks also are very particular the way they lend, right? So there was a time when the home loan file used to be probably this thick, and there were thousands of documents required, and people used to give it physically, sign it, everything. So banks slowly and steadily banks are moving away from the way they lend. Most of the banks have come, came with a digital journey, if not full, at least a partial digital journey where initial half of the till sanction piece it has been taken care of, and once the case is sanctioned, then all the physical documents are required. So of course, it's a very hassle-free kind of a process. So customers are demanding for it, and second, I feel, yeah, I mean, not from a home loan perspective. Yes, as Suresh and Rajiv rightly said, that home loan is a very simple kind of a product where people are looking for a loan so that they can buy a house. But there are expectations like, if there could be some clubbing product like an OCR. Many customers struggle with OCR, especially in a city like Bombay, where the houses are very expensive. The down payment itself will be very high. So one is that if something can be clubbed and come as a combo product where I can give you 3 crore of home loan along with 40 lakhs of OCR. That's one. Second, I will not name the partner, but last week I was with an NBFC, a very leading NBFC. They have come up with two, three flexible options for the customer. So banks and NBFCs are looking for more flexibility, but end of the day, the product remains the same. You can fine tune the way you lend, you can fine tune the payment terms, you can felicitate more loan by clubbing two, three loans, but eventually the basic home loan will remain basic home loan.
Rajiv, from a perspective of a lot of people also trying look at the fact that okay, there have been a lot of articles, a lot of people giving advice. Not the situation right now, but hopefully in the future that when interest rates go down, a lot of people try to do loan swapping and go to different banks to get the benefits of a lower interest rate. Is it advisable for anyone to do it? I mean, when should they do it, or why shouldn't they do it? Any thoughts on that?
No, see, again, this is something very, as we have been discussing, people are pretty intelligent as on date. So they know what is best for them. And, but I still feel when they get, normally in case of a housing loan, I believe it's still an emotional part of their journey when they buy a home and they are taking a home loans. If matlab, if it is something very a big change in the ROIs or what, but generally they don't tend to swap in terms of a lower rate. If somebody is giving a few bases here and there, they generally don't do it. But yes, if there is a thing, they will definitely first try to talk to their own bankers, existing bankers. Okay, yes, this is what I am being offered. If you can, or I'm happy if you do a few bases here and there, but still I would like to be with you. So generally, it doesn't happen in India. It's not that sort of a market where lot of swap is happening. When we were going from one place to another just for a few bases, you still tend to be with your existing banker if you are happy with overall services of that bank or for that matter that financial institution. You don't tend to do that. So I don't think this that big a market, but yes, it is, as of now it is happening, but not to that level, I believe.
Uh, Suresh, any views on when should a customer foreclose their loan? I mean, when is the right time and how should they go about doing it?
Whenever customer has money. So, so, so see, housing loan normally you'll find that the rate of interest are lowest for as compared to any other product. But it is better to repay loan as and when you have a fund available, because once your property is free, you can avail so many things on it. So if, let's say, I'll give you example, if you have a, let's say, 2 crore house where you have repaid the entire loan, and if you want to really, spend money for your kids education, and your son is going abroad, daughter is going abroad, the property, immediately you can get the education loan. If you don't have a property, there is a struggle, to my understanding. But if you have a property, you are going to get immediately loan for education also, though education loan otherwise is also available. You want to spend money for your daughter's marriage, that also you can immediately take the loan from wherever, the financial institution where you are running the loan, or you can again mortgage the property. So property, I mean, if you have a fund, you repay the loan, and then as and when you need fund, you can always, instead of liquidating the property, you can always avail the loan against property, or maybe uh, top up loan when only few the residual part of the loan is pending. So it's very very beneficial, because that is the only product. Even if you take a lap, normally in industry you'll get a 15 years lap,
Hmm.
right? So none of the other term loan you will get for 15 years,
Hmm.
neither auto loan nor personal loan. None of the term loan you will get for 15 years. But if you have a house, and if you mortgage that loan against property, you can get it for 15 years, and that too at the cheapest rate. That also would be at least 50 to 100 basis points lower than personal loan, or auto loan.
Okay.
And even you can take overdraft. You
Hmm.
can take overdraft, and then as and when whatever fund you want to use, only to that extent you have to pay interest. So property, whenever you have money, repay.
Rahul, if you can just share for people basically on Magicbrick recommendation engine, right? How does that work? How does that help people get their loans?
Okay. So basically, Siddharth, bank repo engine is something which we have developed internally with our own product and tech team. And it has almost all the fine-tuned details, obviously permissible details of the banks, so that if a customer tries to select a bank of its own, right, without taking anybody's help, so the customer can simply put their basic details and the relevant details will come out. For an example, if I put my income, my profession, my residential stability, the amount of loan I'm looking at, and my interest rate preference, these are only 4 or 5 parameters I'm talking. There are multiple parameters at the back end. It will throw the top 3 to 4 results along with the maximum loan amount, the lowest interest rate possible, the tenure, etc., etc. And then customer can pick up, okay, this bank suits me the most, and I will pick up this particular bank. So it's a very scientific kind of a thing. And honestly, we scrub almost 7 to 800 applications month on month via this engine, and it has an accuracy of 95%. And we are fine tuning it with every passing month. We are trying to put as much more details into this software so that this 95% probably become 97 to 98% very soon.
Finally, gentlemen, what I'd like is there any views, any perspectives that we've not covered which you would like to share with viewers, or anything that they should keep in mind?
Home loan, the loan part, the consumer should not ignore. So always keep an eye on your rate of interest, on your tenure. Regulator has consistently, improved the methods, put more controls, so that you don't lose as a consumer anything. like most of the loans, I mean, being a floating rate floating rate loans, there is no prepayment charges. You can move from one to other. Ideally, customers should not do it before going anywhere else. They should first check with their lender. Their email IDs, mobile numbers, your contact details, all should, as a responsible customer, our customers should keep updated in their bank records, loan records, so that any communication with bank sends digitally or physically, it reaches and they can act within time.
So, thank you very much, gentlemen. I think this session has been great insight. Thank you very much for your time.